Hello, my name is Nicole, and thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. Today, I'm just going to bring awareness to some things that may arise when you start getting serious with someone. For those of you singles who like to mingle, we don't want folks ending up in emotionally as well as physically abusive relationships where there is some power and control that's taking place. But sometimes this happens and the signs are not so obvious. Okay. They're not obvious because they come very subtle. We're not talking about somebody blatantly being punched, kicked, shoved, what have you. And we're not talking about someone being ignored and abused with words and all of that. Okay. But we're talking about the types of things that creep up on you when you least expect it. Contradictory behavior. A person saying one thing and doing another. A person today up and then tomorrow down, and you don't have a clue what is going on. A person who promises you the sun, moon, and stars, but let there be a little bit of challenge or something not agreed upon, and the person has reason in their mind, well, you know what, all that stuff I promised, I'm not doing any of it. Okay, so some passive aggressive stuff starts to take place too. I thought we were going to such and such. I thought you were going to do this for me, and oh, you know what, I'm sorry, I couldn't do it. You see, there's no argument, there's no upset, there's no demeaning comment, but the person just paid you back for making them angry the other day, which you didn't know that they were angry because, well, they didn't show any signs that they were angry. So you start scratching your head and you're wondering, is this person really busy or something else came up, or are they just being slick about paying me back because I didn't go along with whatever was said the other day, and you know the rest. So these little things creep up, and what do? Because I remember doing this myself in those early days of dating. You dismiss things, right? Okay. So let's pay attention to some of the contradictions that take place with the person who, yes, I absolutely like you so much. Oh, you are so good, and I just want to spend the rest of my life with someone like you. I mean, oh, let's just have a serious relationship. Let's move in together. Let's buy stuff together. Let's go places. Oh, you're the greatest. Okay. Now the relationship has went up, climbing up. Everything feels good, but it's going to slowly come down. Those of us who've been in relationships long enough, we know this. It's not going to always stay up. Even the best relationships by the world standards, it doesn't stay up. It's just that couples don't run around telling all of their business because not everything is meant for people to know. Okay. It's just not. I mean, a couple is a couple for good reason. So some things they share amongst each other and nobody is ever going to know. Okay. So in the meantime, though, you want to be on guard because you haven't signed any documents with this individual. You haven't agreed yet to move in. You definitely are not pregnant with his child. So things are moving along, but you're just picking up some vibes. Something's a little bit off. Okay. When the individual doesn't get what you need, let's say that you send that person on a shopping trip and they come back and they get part of what you asked for, but not all of it. Okay. You're going to dismiss that, right? Because you figure they forgot. Well, what if they didn't forget? And what if they just said, I'm not getting all this stuff for her because I guess she think money grows on trees. Okay. So they show up with a smile on their face, right? Because they're not going to let you know that you irritated them a bit by requesting so many items. Or maybe it wasn't so many. Maybe it was just 3 or 4, but they were a little bit costly for their budget. But with a smile on her face, right? Because it's early. It's early yet. You don't know this person that well. They put a smile on their face and they say, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't get everything that you wanted. Right? So what do? You go ahead and you make do with whatever you did receive, right? And the person, meanwhile, in the back of their mind, one for me. I won because I wasn't about to spend that money. I could see she likes to spend some money. Okay. Point 2. Let's just say the individual has a really nice car, right? And you have a driver's license. But the person, when you ask, well, can I drive your vehicle to the concert instead of you drive? Because I know where the concert is, and they insist, oh, no, I'll do it. Oh, wait a minute. That's an early warning sign. Did you look at the face? Did you look at the expression? Did you see how tensed up the person got? But then let's just say you're a little bit, pushy with it, but you're sweet and you're kind about it. Oh, come on, honey. I mean, I just want us to have a good time. I do know how to get there like the back of my hand. And I really don't want to give you a bunch of instructions. Oh, I can just use my GPS. Oh, you got such a nice car. Yeah, I know. All right, honey, please. Don't make an issue of this. I'll drive. Oh, early warning sign. Why is that an early warning sign? I could hear somebody say. Because chances of you driving his automobile once the relationship gets serious, nah, that's not going to happen. Or it could be a woman who's very funny about her vehicle. Okay? Chances of that man driving her vehicle, no, boo-boo. No, boo-boo. You're going to have to get the bus. All right. Moving on. Early warning signs. I hope somebody's taking some notes. Those things that you don't really pay attention to. So your new sweetheart, that person that you like a lot, right? Let's just say that one day you become very ill. Now, this is a good test. You want to pay attention to how this person treats you. Now, he may show up with some soup and a salad or something and some medicine or what have you. Oh, that's good. Okay, early on. But let's say that the relationship is getting a little bit older. And instead, he either doesn't bring anything at all, okay, or he brings something, okay, but then he's advising you on what you shouldn't do as if he's a doctor or something. And that's kind of rubbing you the wrong way, right? And he's giving you this over-the-counter medicine, but he's not really, let's just say he's not really compassionate. And if the relationship is a little bit older, he's not encouraging you to see a doctor because, well, we got enough bills. Uh-oh. Warning sign. What about an issue like this? The new date or new lover or friend, whatever you choose to call this person, talks about these issues that arise that you have with others. And he or she says some things to you that sound a bit cutting, but they're not doing it in a mean way. But it does sound like they're being like a parent, okay? And at first, you kind of dismiss it. It's no big deal. I mean, some people, they got their way of explaining things, right? But then this person acts as if you're having these issues because you're the one that's causing all these people to have problems with you. Okay. And then they start listing these different things that you do. But the things that they list isn't accurate and doesn't reflect the events that you told them about. And it seems as if the person is lumping everything in one category. Okay. So you walk away from that conversation feeling like you're a big old problem by the time your lover, partner, friend, what have you, is finished with you. And another issue arises and you're hesitant about whether or not you want to talk to him about it. Then when you do, he or she ignores you like you're a pest. Go away. I'm watching my television program. Go away. I'm on the internet. Go away. I'm working outside. Go away. I'm doing something. Uh-oh. Okay. That's not good. Have you noticed so far in the different examples, the selfishness? Have you noticed so far early signs that this person just might have some kind of disorder, maybe narcissism, maybe a psychopath? Let's move on. So let's just say that you are interested in having some intimacy, okay? We won't get into all the details, but you're interested. And you try to reach out to communicate your need, and the person just kind of shoos you away like a fly. Okay? Once again, you're being a little bit pesky, a little bit, can't you control yourself, woman? Uh-oh. And maybe the guy or the woman doesn't say it in a mean, nasty kind of way, rejects you in a way that the world would look at it and go, oh, that's just so terrible. Instead, it's just, well, maybe he's busy or she has something on her mind or what have you. But something on the inside, though, tells you, uh-oh, this looks like this is going to be one-sided. If he's ready or if she's ready, I'm supposed to meet the need. But if I want something, oh no. Okay. And this happens repeatedly. Another warning sign. Here's one. The person tells you that, you tend to lose quite a few things. You misplace items. And you say, yeah, I know sometimes I just tend to forget a lot of things. Remember, early dating relationship. We're not talking about, folks being bold 10, 15 years later telling, stuff. We're talking about folks doing things in a nice way, a sweet way, a kind way. But your spirit feels heavy at times. Your spirit feels confused, burdened. You find yourself dismissing some of their behaviors, and sometimes you even take on the blame a bit. Maybe he is right. Maybe she is right. Okay. So you say, yeah, I tend to misplace things, and the individual says, okay. Are you sure you're not losing your mind? Uh-oh. Wait a minute. So what do you mean? I mean, well, there's been some other things I noticed about you. You seem like a little bit excitable at times, and I mean, sometimes you just pick the wrong time to come and want to talk to me or be around me, and then sometimes I notice that you just say things and they don't really make sense. I mean, are you okay upstairs? Uh-oh, what is this person trying to say, right? You're crazy? Okay, so they don't think that much of your intelligence, but once again, you're continuing to date this person. Because if they don't respect your intellect early on, or you've got some quirks about you that they deem are a bit strange, and maybe some other people do too, but the point is that they don't respect your intelligence, what's the likelihood that they're going to include you in on major decisions? Early warning signs. How about this one? This one's a good one. I personally saw this one show up over and over again. So you are the one who is out there purchasing different things, gifts, making sure that responsibilities are taken care of, and that partner or lover or friend is getting some benefit out of your spending money too. Right? So the day comes where you're a bit short. You don't have as much money, because you were doing this and doing that. And once again, the partner did benefit. So you ask for money. Uh-oh. And the person gives you either very little, like a few dollars, or they give you just enough, but then they expect repayment, or they give you no assistance at all. I'm struggling just like you. I mean, I really wish I could help, with a smile on their face. Once again, we're not talking about somebody who's yelling and arguing and acting like a complete idiot. Oh no. This is the cool, calm, and collected type. The one that's making the good impression. Okay? But once again, red flag. I know he just got his tax refund money, or I know that he just spent some money on such and such, but it wasn't that much, and he can't even give me a few dollars to bail me out. But if he was in need, I would have done this, that. Matter of fact, I did help him out. And you start thinking. But once again, right, everybody's on their best behavior, you see, because when you haven't put time in, when it comes to a relationship, you do find yourself having to withhold a lot of stuff because you don't want to drive that person away. But then as you get to know them and it's years later, you feel comfortable expressing your thoughts, and you do end up being quite bold, okay, in coming back on them when they do certain things, you see. But those early days, right? Those of you all, you're being real sweet and nice, and you're not addressing anything, even though on the inside your stomach is churning and you're getting a little bit of an attitude. And the person with a smile on their face looks over at you and they say, "Are you okay?" "Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. I just been fighting a bug lately." No, you haven't. Now, early on, you're telling lies. No, you haven't. You know that this person has done a number of things that's showing that he or she is selfish, got some things going on mentally, and you're not liking it. Let's keep going, shall we? I'll hit on somebody's issue in a minute. So children misbehaving. Let's say that some of you all got some kids that are yours or someone else's. Okay? Or maybe you singles don't, but just pretend like you do. Sometimes it helps to kind of fast forward. What would the future look like having babies with this person? Well, the children are misbehaving. And you being that one that is into good parenting, right? Effective parenting. You want to be a good mom one day, right? Some of you all are already good mothers. God bless you. And this individual, or maybe you're a good dad, right? And you notice some things with this person that you're with who has children too. Okay. And so the discipline takes place, and you're cautioning your child, and you see that your partner's not really that much into cautioning his or her child. Okay. So when you address certain things about parenting with them, and the individual decides, you know what, this topic is off limits, but if we're going to be in a relationship together, at some point, I might have to interact with your child. Well, if you do, you just make sure you tell me. But anyway, and so they proceed to tell you about how you discipline your child. And you know that the way you discipline, it's effective, it works, and you're not going to jail. You see? But oh no. They're going to nitpick. They're going to fault find, and they may even play savior to the child. Now, why would they do all of this, right? Well, we really don't know. People had their reasons. Some of them were very prideful people, and that goes along with the personality disorder. Okay? So, anyway, they say things in such a way where it makes you question, well, am I really a good parent? I mean, wow, I never looked at it that way. And mind you, the way they talk to you, once again, it's nothing that's making you want to jump up in their face and check them. They're saying it in a very kind and sweet way. But you don't feel good about it because you can clearly see how they parent, and they're not parenting very well at all. But yet they can see how you parent. So that's a red flag warning sign, because just imagine, fast forward, you got a baby together. You going to do you and he's going to do him, or, it's going to be war. Some people are not going to parent effectively together. Another point, early dating stages now. He agrees or she agrees to a marriage proposal. Okay? And let's just say that you two eventually do marry. We're just going to pretend. But some trouble starts to arise, because that's what happens in new marriages. They really do have their share of challenges. Anybody who tells you that there is none, I don't know. They must be, on that I'm going to dismiss everything train, because there's always an issue that arises. It's just, do you choose to see it for what it is or not? Do you choose to address it? Is it significant enough for you to bring up? For some people, a lot of stuff when it comes to relationships is not that important. Especially if you've been through a whole lot of mess, in the past. Some stuff that would really bother other people doesn't bother you, because you done been there, done it, seen the movie. Okay. So there's some trouble that arises, and this person is very sensitive to it. So they bring some things to your attention, and then you say, well, wait a minute, hold up. I would like to talk about these issues. And let's say that it involves in-laws, right? That's a hot topic. I don't like the way your mother does this, or I don't like the way your dad does this. And what about how he said this and all that other stuff, right? And then somehow the conversation, it's not as sweet and nice, because that's a hot topic, right? And then out of anger, somebody says something like, you know what? I don't even know, how we even got here. Yeah. Well, you wanted to get married. Oh my goodness. The person, remember, agreed to marry you, agreed to do the whole death until we part thing, right? The whole vow, the statement. But now, nope, it's about you. You're the one who wanted to get married, but you did too. Okay. That's a sign of some pending issues in the future. Can we say divorce? So you kind of test people early on, before you sign a contract. What are the hot button topics? Let's go all the way with that hot button topic. Are they going to, go for the jugular? Are they going to say something that's real cutting? You wanted to get married. Oh boy. The next point. When it comes to, pregnancy scares or a baby on the way, maybe somebody who's listening to this is expecting. And another hot topic shows up, and that person is not too happy about whatever you said or whatever you did. And you say something about, well, we're here for this baby, and we got to just work with each other the best way we know how. By the way, speaking of baby, you wanted the baby. Oh no. Oh, went for the jugular. Now, how is it that we went from so nice, so, careful about what we say to now, the hot button topics, and things are rolling along, and right? Things start getting ugly. But that person does realize it takes two to have sex, right? And that if he or she really didn't want a baby, really didn't want a baby, then you'd be using extra protection on top of extra protection. But then we don't have to go with that philosophy. We could just simply say that things happen, and let's be responsible, right? But no, not this person. Now there's blaming going on. And blaming starts with the pregnancy, then it just escalates from there. Early warning signs, pay close attention. Here's another point. as you get to know the person, you start listening to their past stories because, of course, everybody has a past, and you want to find out some information just to help you determine whether or not you really do want to go all the way with this person. And then you're hearing some blaming the ex-girlfriends, blaming the ex-wife, long track record of women. And of course, you go along, or long track record of men, you go along and continue to date this person, even though you know they have proven themselves to be a blamer. Okay? So, with that going on, what's the chances that they are going to start blaming you for some things, like case in point, the pregnancy? Okay. And then let's say an issue shows up and it's happening with someone else, and you bring this issue up and you say, yeah, honey, you have a similar issue with your family. Oh, no, I don't. Yeah, remember the other day we were talking and you shared with me about, you misunderstood. I mean, it's not as bad as, those people. Oh no. Okay. I tell you, some of these people, you got to watch. That's an early warning sign too. Now start sitting back and thinking on that one, because family functions, at least that person going to your family functions, might not really happen all like that. He or she might be looking for some wiggle room, because people who believe their family to be the best and the most wonderful and all of this, okay, they don't really want to be too mixed up with your family. And then if you have kids, they don't really want, the son or daughter to be hanging out with your family, because your family isn't as good as my family and our family. Oh my goodness. So pay close attention early on with the family comparison, and mine is better than yours. That doesn't go away. Another point, you reach out for affection, a conversation, and the person is busy. But you are to drop everything, though, when they want to bring something to your attention. And the last is claims that you tell lies. Okay? Meanwhile, this new partner, fresh, likes to control his or herself, present oneself in the best light, doesn't tell the truth. Doesn't tell the truth about the past, doesn't tell the truth about where he or she has gone, doesn't tell the truth about how much money is spent. You notice other little things that don't quite add up. You do a background check and find out some information. For those of you all who are just getting to know someone, it doesn't hurt to check their background out. It's better to find out what you're dealing with now rather than later. So these are just things to pay close attention to. I don't hear stuff phrased in this way around the net that often. So this is why I wanted to bring this to my network's attention, because, you just don't want to end up having 2, 3, 5 months down the line invested in someone, or even years, and then feel miserable, and then start thinking about, how can I get up out of this? Okay. Even if you see that this person early on isn't doing any of these contradictory, questionable things that you have to dismiss, you still want to pay attention for signs that are similar to the scenarios that I mentioned, okay? Because the power and control is real. And the early warning signs will tell you what is ahead. Not generous with money, You saw that when the person went to the grocery store and didn't bring back everything you wanted. You saw that, just making it up. Not that you are really going through something like this, but you saw these sorts of things. And so what are you supposed to determine when you see something's not right? You are to determine that this person is not somebody who you may want to be with long term. Okay? Because if you're a generous type and that person is very, very frugal, you're going to have arguments about money. If you are one who's very close to your family and you don't appreciate people talking about your family, and this person has a way of saying things to compare his or her family with yours, friends to, anyone, your workplaces, there's going to be times where the person's going to look at you as competition rather than a partner. Okay. If you force a person or you insinuate that you want to get married and you kind of are pushy about it, or maybe you're not pushy, but you just mention it and the person really doesn't want to do it, now you're to blame because you wanted to get married and he or she is now feeling like they are in a prison as opposed to a relationship. So all of these little scenarios happen early on, not for us to dismiss, but for us to ponder a bit, right? Just like somebody gives you a story about something they have gone through and they ask you for a bit of advice, you need to look at the different scenes that have already taken place with your date. Sit back, ponder a bit, okay? What can I learn from what took place today? Not, I think that this is a bad thing. It's nothing but the devil and I'm just going to forget about it. Those moments where you felt that heat rise up in your chest, where you felt your face hot, where you tried hard to hold back some things, that is the time where you should be like, okay, oh no, I need to slow down a bit. No more going over, this person's house for a while. No, I don't think I need to be intimate with this person right through here because I got too many red flags starting to, perk up. And besides, I know I'm a believer and I shouldn't be conducting myself in ways that show that I'm, not really trusting and believing in Christ. Because that's the other thing a person will throw up later on is, so you claim to be a believer. I can't tell. Because, everything that I asked you to do, you did it. And I know God didn't tell you to do this with me and that with me. And sometimes people do those things just to test you, to see if you really are as honest as you claim. Sometimes they test you to see if you are really as self-controlled as you state. So, thank you, as always, for taking time out of your busy schedule to listen. You've been listening to YouTube NM Enterprise 7. Feel free to subscribe and check the description box. And also, we do welcome donations. Check the link that comes just before this audio, and that's where you are able to give. Well, that is it. To God be the glory.